Tra-la-la-la-la. Today I'm going to be talking about Big Hero 6, and something that many of you may know, but many of you may not know, is that Big Hero 6 is actually based on a Marvel comic book license. Not only that, it's the first Disney-owned animated Marvel movie, which is a big deal. Interestingly though, it deviates quite dramatically from the original source material. I gotta tell you, when I say they deviated, they really deviated. So let's talk about it. So first things first, there's the team itself, the Big Hero 6. In the animated movie, they are a team of super intelligent engineering students that attend school in San Francisco. They never planned on being a superhero team. They just sort of had to do it to save the world, you know? Originally in the comic books, however, they were a team of superpowered secret agents, I guess you could say, put together by the Japanese government that they could call on whenever they needed to. Very much like the Avengers. Originally, Big Hero 6 took place in the X-Men universe and was actually led by two X-Men characters, Silver Samurai and Sunfire. Let's talk about our main hero, our boy in charge, Hiro Hamada. So in the movie, Hiro Hamada is a reluctant genius young man who joins the team through the persuasion of his older brother Tadashi. But in the comic books, that's certainly not the case. In the comic books, his name's not even Hiro Hamada, and he doesn't even have a brother. His name is Hiro Takachiho. Another place where the movie deviates from the comics is that he's not actually raised by his Aunt Cass, he's raised by his mother, who eventually gets kidnapped by a being known as Everwraith, which is an astral projection embodiment of all the 1945 victims of the Hiroshima bombing, and that's what causes Hiro to need the help of the Big Hero 6 so that he can save her. Pretty big difference. Now, going back to where they're similar, Hiro did in fact invent Baymax, another member of the Big Hero 6. Everybody loves Baymax. However, unlike the movie, Baymax was Hiro's creation that he had created as a science project, and he had originally created Baymax to serve as his butler, bodyguard, and personal chauffeur. Now, shortly before completing Baymax, Hiro's father passed away. So, when programming Baymax's artificial intelligence, Hiro used engrains of his father's brain and integrated it into the AI. So, Baymax is kind of like Hiro's dad. Weird. Baymax is known as a synth former and can actually change his appearance according to his needs. So aside from his human form, which he walks around in to look less conspicuous in public, he could actually turn into Battle Dragon or Action Mecha, which are both considerably more powerful and awesome sounding. Are you satisfied with your destruction? Now let's talk about Gogo. So first off, in the comics, her name is not Gogo Tamago. Gogo Tamago is actually the name of the suit that she wears in the comic book. Tamago actually means egg in Japanese, and that's the name that the suit gets when propelling through the air at high velocities. It actually looks like a sphere, or the shape of an egg. So that's where that comes from. Her name in the comics is actually Leiko Tanaka, and she was in a motorcycle gang. As a matter of fact, she was a criminal who was sent to prison, and instead of being in prison for life, the government made her a deal. You're used to riding motorcycles and going fast speeds, but instead why don't you fight for us and wear the super cool suit and fight some crime? She said, that's a good deal. How about that honey lemon though? In the comic books, her name is actually Aiko Miyazaki, and very much like the movie, she is a brilliant engineering student. And although she's very cute in the movie, in the comic books, the girl's a straight up supermodel. Now in the movie, she uses these sphere-like objects that she throws, and they have different sort of properties and elements, like they inflate, or they stick, or they explode. They have all kinds of functions. In the comic book, however, she actually finds a way to create miniature wormholes using Pym particles. You might be familiar with Pym particles through Ant-Man. Those are the particles that allow Ant-Man to shrink and grow. Pretty cool. Moving on to Wasabi no Ginger. That's actually his name in the comic book too, which is pretty weird considering that it's just like sushi food. But speaking of sushi, instead of creating plasma blades like the animated feature, Wasabi can actually generate psionic blades from his hands, very much like Psylocke from X-Men. When he does that, he usually makes them take the shape of sushi knives, which is weird. Finally, the last member of the Big Hero 6 is our buddy Fred. In the movie, he's kind of like the mascot to the smart kids at the school, and they make him a really cool robot mascot suit of sorts. But in the comics, he didn't wear a suit at all. As a matter of fact, he had a legitimate superpower. He could surround himself with an aura of energy that could turn into a giant kaiju, which is a giant reptilian monster, very much like Godzilla. As a matter of fact, in the comics, his nickname is Fredzilla. So that's it. In the comments below, I want you to tell me who your favorite member of the Big Hero 6 is. And I want you to tell me if you liked the old versions of them better, or if you like the new versions of them more. Thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Bye.